Have you any questions for me? So. Things to say right now. We'll come back in a moment, don't worry. But you need some brakes as well, stops for your ears. So we're driving along here. So we're in Paris. We're coming from west. We're heading forward. Sort of a little mound overlooking Paris. Paris, the city centre, is actually further down in the valley. Sorry, these are blocks of flats, yes. No, they're built as... Yes, apartments, yes, we call them condos, I suppose. In Paris, most of the buildings are private, well, house private flats in there, okay? So it's difficult for me to say what's in these buildings, who owns them, I can't tell you. Some buildings may be owned by a major wealthy landlord, okay, have a whole block in his hands, but very often people live in their private little apartments. Okay, so it's condos, you would say condos, I suppose. And what else do we need to know about it? I had something in my mind, it just slipped my mind. Anyway, that's right. We're in high ground here. It doesn't snow in Paris, not a lot. A little bit of snow every year, not that much really. These are chestnut trees, okay? So there should be conkers of the ground everywhere. You look around, you sometimes see the conkers on the ground. These are chestnut trees. Well, they turn rusty leaf. That's normal. September is normal. Sometimes they start turning rusty already much earlier. I don't know why this year, despite the drought, it was no worse than other years. There's a building on the right hand side, not super outstanding, it's a bit different. So you can see the administration. This is the town hall for the 16th arrondissement on the right hand side. Administration, if you live here or you get married here, you go here to get married. You see there's little confetti or petals on the ground. Somebody just got married probably today, they haven't cleaned it yet. On the left hand side you have a service provided for by the city. Of course, it's outsourced private companies. These are the city bicycles. It's a very good system. That's what I use because I don't like to use the metro. In Paris, we have very good public transport. I must say that, although I don't like to use it. Very good public transport. We have the Metropolitan, which is the Paris Underground. Okay, we call it Metropolitan. Metropolitan Metro, le Metro, which. The first line opened about 122 years ago in the year 1900, and we have buses all over, and of course nowadays we also have bicycle services like these. We have Lime, which you may know for your own home towns maybe. We have these little scooters everywhere, which are very annoying. Because they are annoying because they sometimes on the pavement. They should be on the pavement and they're very fast on the pavement and run into you. Unfortunately, could kill you.
Renault. I don't see it, Renault car.
So, so the other wing here, underneath the terrace there's a theatre. So this is a beautiful view, isn't it? You see, quite a high spot here. Napoleon had meant to build a palace here. He never got to build it. But it was a nice site. You have the Eiffel Tower now. You have the domes, the Golden Dome when Napoleon is buried. So what's in these buildings? In the buildings we have...
一定到落車啦佢。
都用呀呀，
香舍嚟借大車，就嚟借。
啊，嗰邊落車啊？
嗰度大街嗰度。
New Julius Caesar. Quite obvious we have to see Napoleon on this Arch of Triumph. Just the idea of an Arch of Triumph, a triumphal arch, is a typical Roman idea. And we like to say the Parisian Arch of Triumph is the tallest arch built in the Roman style. It's 50 meters or 150 feet high, approximately, okay? Very tall arch. Remember, as a city gate, but also, of course, to celebrate victories, to honour soldiers, to honour officers whose names are engraved on the inside walls. And then the square itself, I said, the Star Square, seen from the sky, the 12 streets leading up to the square, it looks like...
That's it. The trap.
Like it's...
The trap right there.
Wait.
Wow, magnificent.
So we're looking at the arch.
Beautiful.
On left-hand pillar, you see Napoleon being crowned by victory.
Yeah.
好犀利啦！上面好多人喎。
Beautiful.
Then this sculpture here, this looks more martial, old man with a beard, leading other men. This is the Marseillaise. The country, France, calls the men, all the men, to the arms to defend the country. We're driving around the arch. If you then look to the right-hand side, just behind the arch, you're looking down towards La Défense. That's the big sort of modern town we saw from the motorway beforehand, remember? The business district of Paris, right in the axis, you see? Right in the axis of the Arch of Triumph. Okay, once the city gate. Underneath the arch, there are some flowers. You may have noticed some flowers placed there. This is the arch nowadays is above all the memorial dedicated to the unknown soldier. Following World War I, in 1921, the remains of an unidentifiable French soldier from the battlefield of Verdun were exhumed and buried here to lie here for all the other French soldiers who had or have no known grave. So look at it again. And those ceremonies take place here almost every day. Now the traffic may seem weird to you, but the traffic around the Arch of Triumph is quite logical. It's always priority is going to whoever is coming from the right. And now we just turned into the Champs-Élysées, into the Elysian Fields.
Is it the Champs-Élysées?
Champs-Élysées, Elysian Fields. The Champs-Élysées was planned under the Sun King, Louis XIV. What did he need the Champs-Élysées for? That's a question you could have asked me. You didn't. So I asked myself the question. So why Louis XIV had Versailles, but sometimes he had to come back to Paris, and in Paris he would stay in the Louvre, or a wing of the Louvre. And what he saw from the Louvre he didn't like. He wanted to have a more royal view, a true vista. So he asked his gardener on an order, please create me a royal view. As the gardener created the Champs-Élysées, an avenue going outside of Paris, trees in rows on either side, and the Parisians didn't know what to do with the Champs-Élysées. It was only very slowly that the Parisians discovered the Champs as a nice stroll, and then rich Parisians from the late, say, 1700s onwards moved to the Champs-Élysées, built nice houses. One of the inhabitants on the Champs-Élysées was actually Thomas Jefferson. Thomas Jefferson, the future American president, had lived on the Champs-Élysées, which looked a bit different those days. They were far more green. They were little beautiful houses, little villas. Nowadays it's all shops, and it's getting classy again. Christian Dior, you may have seen Boss, Cartier, Chanel, Louis Vuitton. They all here or come back here again. So it's really the street for all kinds of events. The Champs-Élysées, quite a fashionable street. People come to the Champs-Élysées to meet it, stroll up and down. And then, if you meet here at night, you go out to the lounge bars, to the clubs in the side streets. But that's all considered going out on the Champs-Élysées. Okay? So later on, you may come back here. There's Louis Vuitton, that's the flagship store. Don't go to Louis Vuitton, there's a long queue. You have no time to go there. Forget about it. Forget about it. If you're really keen on something from Louis Vuitton, you could try your luck. It's not the Louis Vuitton boutique at a little branch of the Lafayette department store. There's coming up on the left-hand side. I'll show you where. There's a department store branch, a very exclusive branch of Lafayette, and they have Louis Vuitton as well, or they should have it. So on the Champs-Élysées we celebrate all kinds of events up and down the Champs-Élysées, show off bankers, which are the mistresses actually. And at the next traffic light, crossroads, that's where the Champs-Élysées end, the upper end with all the shops. Later on when you walk around, I would recommend you come here, you walk here as far as this, and then you decide what you want to do. If you want to sit down a little more relaxed, go to the street on the left-hand side, Avenue Franklin Roosevelt. See the shop Carven or Zadig and Voltaire. Go down the street on the left-hand side where these sort of push bikes are coming from right now. You have some nice cafes, some bakeries there as well. That's maybe a nice place for having somewhere to sit down. And you can still stroll up the Champs-Élysées, see how far you can go. It is a long walk, okay? Actually, what we're doing right now, I'm trying to give an idea, because this is the area you come back to later on when you have free time, okay? Here, this is a crossroads fountains. You can see fountains here, modern fountains. On the left-hand side, they're not working. On the right-hand side, they're working. Very modern. Created by some young designers from Brittany. Brittany is another French province. Egypt to France. Okay, Egypt to France. I'm just looking at the traffic actually, sorry. I don't like the traffic, it stresses me out. It does. Doesn't it stress you out? I don't know why it doesn't say red here. It says it's completely red and it doesn't say red. How can it say not red? There's something wrong. Pour toi c'est rouge ou pas? Pour chez moi il dit rien. Voilà, c'est ça, voilà, donc ça va aller alors. So, you just take in the view from here. So what I recommend afterwards, when you get off, you can come down here. Also walk down the central Champs, it's not very far. Come to the square, go to the obelisk, which was sent to us by the Viceroy of Egypt to France, to King Philip of France in 1836. So it's a genuine Egyptian obelisk from the Temple District of Luxor. And you notice this square is an open royal square. It's 1770. Two fantastic buildings to the north. Look like palaces, don't they? Don't they just perfect in architecture? Look at the beautiful columns. The one to the left is a hotel and the French Old People Club. Behind it, tucked away on the left-hand side, behind a tall tree, there's the American Embassy, US American Embassy. The other building, the Twin Palace, to the right is nowadays you can visit. It's a historic building. That's where the kings of France kept their furniture. Not needed in the palace, they had their furniture mended. So it's called the garde-meuble. It's like a garde-robe, that's why they kept the furniture of the palace. And you can visit, you see how the royal governor of furniture lived in the house. It's beautiful. And in between, beyond the obelisk, you should see the Madeleine Church. The problem is the Madeleine Church is under restoration and the whole facade is covered in, well, in an advert. I think at the moment it's Louis Vuitton. On the right-hand side, there's another temple-fronted building. Can you see that?
Yeah.
That is the House of Parliament, or we call it the Assemblée Nationale, National Assembly Halls. And if you look back over your right-hand shoulder, you see the Eiffel Tower. The bridge itself was built in the years of the French Revolution. Years of the French Revolution. For the Tuileries Guards. See, what's starting here now? We now squeezed in between the Seine and the Tuileries Guards. Here on the left-hand side, you can stroll down the Tuileries Gardens, go to the terrace, there's some cafes in the gardens, you sit here, or go to the museum. In this museum you have Claude Monet's water lilies, the nymphaea. On the right-hand side, the fantastic building, I think it's a very lovely Italian-looking building through a round concave facade, dominated by dome, was built as a school, as a college for civil servants in the 1660s. Nowadays, it's the seat of the academies the Institute. The French Institute. So it's sort of the Academy of French, Académie Française, which is a guardian society for the French language. Oh, and this bridge, by the way, this bridge was the famous bridge where all the padlocks for eternal love. They were here. They're all gone. I'm so pleased they're gone. You're upset, I know. I'm so pleased because there was an American lady who was against it, and she was so right. I'm so pleased they got rid of it because the bridge threatened to collapse. These padlocks were so heavy. Sometimes they fell down. The panels broke off and landed in the Seine. They could have hit people travelling on the riverboats. We were lucky. Now on the right hand side, can you see the willow? Can you see a willow tree? Can you? I can't. There's a willow tree. So the willow tree is standing right on the tip of the city island. See the willow tree down there? And that's the city island. And beyond there's a dome. Can you see a dome in the distance? On the right, dome disappearing now. Can you all see it? Don't lie to me.
I've seen it.
You know, in days of Julius Caesar, the Roman governor lived on the island. Well, lots of new buildings here.
Took a picture of it. Down that way.
And there's a flower market, and here on the right hand side, one of the oldest markets. Always looking to the right hand side, you may recognise the Gothic spire of the Sainte-Chapelle. See the Gothic spire of the Sainte-Chapelle coming up there, and the entrance to the Palace of Justice to the right hand side. Look to the right, Sainte-Chapelle, did you see something? And then coming up, look, concentrate on the left. Concentrate on the left. Are you?
Notre Dame.
Notre Dame, facade of Notre Dame, finished 1248. Try to imagine Quasimodo, the hunchback, climbing around the towers, looking, falling in love with the lovely dancer Esmeralda. The facade still looks quite good. It hasn't changed too much.
Beautiful. It's a little fine. It got burned 3 years ago. There was a fire. Fire? 3 years
Did
ago.
we question the back?
Fire.
Pull up a little bit.
Pull up to where?
We stopped.
We can't pull up anywhere. No, we're quite lucky we see the facade already.
Stop. Yeah, stop.
They're still working on it, so
We're on the stop light.
the traffic light. Turn right, Fox here. Look at Notre Dame again. So they're still working hard on it, and hopefully 2024. For the spire, I'm not so optimistic. And see how many cyclists we have got nowadays. So we're now on the left bank. Now look to the left-hand side, little gap between the houses here. These are the streets of Paris, old Paris. Now so narrow. That's how they were in the past. Many dark medieval streets down there. Down there. These are the truly oldest parts of Paris. The oldest streets going back to old Lutèce, Letitia. See the bookists are open here, selling their postcards and stamps and prints. On the right hand side. All this, the whole length, about 700 metres, a little over 700 metres. I would like to say about almost half a mile long, the Louvre.
Where's the pyramid?
Where's the pyramid? The pyramid is in the Louvre, in the courtyard. We can't drive through anymore, unfortunately. The Louvre is a horseshoe-shaped building, 3 wings, okay, with it open to the west. So, what you could do, walk to the Louvre from where we park. When we get stopped, you walk down Place de la Concorde to the obelisk. It's a nice thing to do. Obelisk, you then go through the park. There may be a building and the seem to be blocking, but you walk around the building, go down the park and you get to the pyramid and another little Arch of Triumph. Maybe worthwhile doing it. It's nice walking also in the park with the lily trees. Close to the Louvre there is a sandwich bar or stall. Might be a nice thing to do.
Inside there, the glass cup. That's so big. I've been all day.
It would take you a week, I think.
應該企馬路中間嗰度影喎。 我仲
因為我係中國人嘛。
幾唔係個紅綠燈中間度見。
阿迪達斯啊，對吧？
Very ornate. Just look at the lampposts again. The lovely backdrop for wedding photographs. And look at the Eiffel Tower. Look left and right again to the Eiffel Tower. Left towards the Louvre again. The bridge we cross. You see the different pavilions of the Louvre. And then we have the other really old building ahead of us. Which is the Hôtel des Invalides, the Hotel of the Invalids. Now, don't think the hotel you can stay overnight. Or would you like to stay at a hotel called Hotel of the Invalids? Not necessarily. Besides, in French we use the word hotel for all kinds of bigger buildings. We have a private hotel, which is an Hôtel Particulier. It's a private townhouse. We have the Hôtel Dieu, God's Hotel is a hospital. We have the Hôtel des Finances, that's where you pay taxes. Hôtel de Police is the main police station, so on. And this Hôtel des Invalides was founded by Louis XIV, the Sun King. Louis XIV, the Sun King, in 1660 as a hospital and home of retirement for invalids. So this area is called the Esplanade des Invalides, the Esplanade of the Invalids, wide open area, once parading ground, but also used for the World Cup 1990. Now I'm going back to the Hôtel des Invalides, founded by Louis XIV. The builder of Versailles, the Sun King, okay? He also built something in Paris. Oh, he wasn't even in Paris in those days. This was the countryside. There were no buildings here apart from this one down there. Huge palace-like building as a hospital for wounded and retired soldiers. So it's a home of retirement for 1,200 pensioners. Okay? Big quadrangle. Look, when we get close, we turn left. I would like you to look to the right-hand side windows. Look at the dormer windows, the rooftop windows, all treated a bit like a knight's armour. So this is the Seine riverfront of this vast building. In the days of Napoleon, it had some extensions built here in the grounds, because there were more than 3,000 pensioners. Nowadays, this building look at the windows. So the cannons. So these days, our days, this building is a museum. Above all, a museum, not only, it's a museum of French military history. French military history, but in one of the wings we still have a military hospital. Lucky enough, we only have 89 pensioners nowadays. The other wing is the official home of the military governor of Paris. It's a beautiful building, as I said. Imagine this in the 1700s when it was first finished. This was the green countryside. There was not much around it. There's only slowly, over the next couple of decades, rich aristocrats built wonderful homes, like the Swiss embassy. You may be able to see through on the left-hand side, Swiss embassy with a shield, and a nice palace-like house on the left. Could be the Prime Minister. He lives around the corner. And this, look at the house behind you on the left-hand side. This is a townhouse for one family with gardens, but the gardens went initially all the way to the next street corner. There's just half the gardens left nowadays. And then after the next traffic light on the left-hand side, we have another so-called townhouse, private town palace. It's nowadays the Rodin Museum. Auguste Rodin, who made the famous sculpture of the Thinker. Doucement là, tout doucement. Look to the left-hand side. Can you see the sculpture?
Yeah.
Sitting between boxwood trees now.
Inside, yeah, inside.
Bronze statue. Recognise him to think of the man, stark naked man sitting there with his chin supported by his fist. So Rodin, friend of Claude Monet, who we talked this morning, and Rodin had used this place as his studio, and it's nowadays his museum. Now look to the right hand side. Good views of the dome. This was the tallest building until the erection of the Eiffel Tower in 1889. So that's the tallest building of Paris. And it was built under Louis XIV. The Dome of the Invalids, okay? Louis XIV, the Sun King, built all this. At the same time, he built this palace of Versailles. Okay, I would like you to look to the left-hand side.
Right here.
We just do a little round the roundabout at the centre. You can all take it. Prends à gauche là. Oui, oui, c'est ça ce que je dis. Voilà, tiens, prends. Non, je vais le faire.
No.
Palace is over here. Yeah.
He's not in a place.
Yeah.
He's not here.
So we drive around the roundabout at the centre. So you can all take it in. So what is under the Golden Dome?
Oh, okay.
What's in the building? It is the National Temple of Honour for the Army. So, the most important person buried in here, right on the dome, is Napoleon. So, in a way, for most people, this is Napoleon's tomb. And it was built more or less at the same time. In England, they built St. Paul's Cathedral. It's smaller, but it's not smaller. It's smaller because it was only a chapel, not a cathedral. Just a chapel built for the king and his soldiers. And the gold is about 24 kilos. No, rubbish. 12 kilos of gold. That's about 24 pounds. A little more like 25 pounds of gold leaf. And the gilding lasts for about 50 years. It's a fantastic church, isn't it? So we leave Les Invalides behind us, we leave Napoleon behind us, and think about this area as the countryside, where people came to drink fresh milk, to go to the local farms, at least the ones who had no money to purchase country houses or country palaces. They came to this area about 200 years ago. And slowly, Paris was extended. The first building that was built in this area, next to the Hôtel des Invalides, was a military school. And that's the army. So the army is still using this. Training, maybe performance for the fire brigades. And so the World Fair. This area, see, stretching out from the military school, which you can't see, but there's a separate building I'll put up there, and the Eiffel Tower. So we have a stop here. So we'll have a stop here. We're stopping here till 1:30. So you can walk around, take your pictures, jump in the air. Why do you jump in the air? You could jump in it if you want to.